Hi, I'm Karen Morgan. I'm a volunteer with AARP Maryland, and this is another in a series of conversations that AARP Maryland is bringing to you about the scourge of elder financial abuse. It's part of the activities for Protect Week from June 14th to June 18th of this year. And Protect Week is brought to you by a consortium of advocacy groups, law enforcement, government agencies, and AARP Maryland to shine a spotlight on the issues with elder financial abuse and to give you ideas and information about how to protect yourself or protect your loved ones against this. Protect Week always coincides with World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, which is June 15th, that is tomorrow, for 2021. And with that, I would like to bring to you our guest today, Martin Baily. He is an AARP community ambassador, and he works with the AARP office in Virginia. He's been a senior Medicare Patrol community educator for 4 years and has volunteered with AARP Virginia for the last 4 years, and he concentrates on fraud prevention activities. He works as a volunteer on the Fraud Watch Network helpline. So he's been a fabulous resource and is like boots on the ground with helping people who are actually victimized. So Martin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, Karen, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And we really appreciate the work you're doing. So let's get started. So tell me, why do you volunteer to help fraud victims? What drives you to do this?
Well, one of the things you have to realize is a recent study has been done maybe about a year or so ago that shows that people lose their identity about every 2 seconds. Somebody's identity is compromised. And with that, you have the ability for not only identity theft, but now you have the scammers giving you or doing the frauds and stuff on you. So right there, a lot of people do not know where to turn to for help. And that's one of the things that the helpline can give them. We can give them an idea of where to go, what to do, and just give them ideas on how to help, how to get out of the present situation, and then how to prevent any future scams that may happen to them.
Okay, and that is very helpful. Now, what are some red flags that you help to warn people about when they call in to the helpline?
Well, some of the red flags, the biggest one is to look at your emotions. If you feel you are being emotionally drawn into this person or this scammer, if they're drawing you in emotionally, think about that for a second and stop. Okay, we tell people to stop, take a step back, take a deep breath. And one of the things we tell them when we help them a lot is to try to have them develop what's called a no response or a negative response. And what that is when if the scammer engages you, and you feel that emotion, you start with a no response. And your no response, once you start it, you don't say anything else. Like my no response is, send it to me in the mail. Send your information to me in the mail. And the scammer may say something else, send your information to the mail. And just like a broken record, you keep saying this. A lady I work with, her no response is, what part of no don't you understand? And she'll keep saying that, and we'll keep saying this no response until the scammer realizes they've lost us. And then they'll disconnect or they disengage if for some reason we don't disengage first. So that's one thing I tell people to do is get that no response. Other flags are you have to sit back and say, okay, why am I being selected for this lottery? Or why did I win the lottery? Or why did I get this government grant? Why me? Why is it me? Why is it something about me that's so important? Okay, you have to ask yourself that. You also have to ask yourself, why is this person asking me all these questions? Or if he gets an email, why do they want all these answers? Why do they want my birthday, my birth city, my name, my full name, my social security number? Why do they want this information? What are you going to do with this information? So we basically say, if people are doing that, step back and ask why you need that. One of the things we tell them is we remind them about the imposter scams. Now, the United States government, as well as the local governments and state governments, they only contact you initially through the U.S. mail. They won't call you, they will not text you, they will not email you. If you get a call, text, or email from the government agency, it's probably a scam. The government will not threaten you. The government will not tell you that you have to pay immediately. They're not going to threaten you saying, we're going to deport you, or we're going to have an arrest warrant on you. So they're not going to do any of this stuff at all. And the government, as well as legitimate organizations, are not going to tell you to pay by a wire transfer, Bitcoin, or gift card. They will not tell you to pay any that way there. And if you're told to pay by a gift card, you can just say right there, it's a scam. It's almost 100% it's a scam. Some other things we provide them is some other red flags to watch for is what are they asking us? Why are they asking us these questions? Do not click on anything. If you get an email or a text that you're not expecting, do not click on it. Do not open it. In fact, just let it go. Just delete it. If you get a telephone call, recommend let the answering machine do your work for you. Just let it go to the answering machine. And if it's a legit call, they'll leave a message and they'll get a number to call back. If it is government agency calling you, they may leave you a legit message or what sounds like a legit message. Do not use the phone number they gave you. Look up the phone number yourself, call them up. And if the IRS is looking for you, you get an IRS agent. They'll find out whether or not they're looking for you.
Yes, the IRS is pretty adept at finding people. I've seen enough episodes of American Greed to know that. So let's say that someone calls the Fraud Watch helpline, and for those of us who are watching, you can see the Fraud Watch helpline number displayed here on screen. And just in case you can't see it, the number is 1-877-908. 3360. That's 1-877-908-3360. So say someone calls into the Fraud Watch Network helpline and they get you, Martin, our helpful person on the other end. What do you do to help that person? What are some of the steps that you immediately take to help a person in distress, obviously?
Well, what we'll do, we'll try to find out, okay, have they been scammed and what type of scam happened to them? Have they lost any money? What type of information did they give out? We try to find out, get a baseline as what do we have to refer to these people on. One of the things we'll do if they have been scammed, defrauded, we'll tell them the appropriate government agency to report it to, law enforcement to report it to, and what to do as far as any forms to fill out and things like that. If they've given their identity out, we'll send them to the Federal Trade Commission site, which is identitytheft.com. And it gives them a step-by-step way of getting their identity back. We'll provide other references for them that they can look up to give them additional information. One of the big things we tell the people to do is, or we let the people know, is that a lot of people say, they'll say, and when I give presentations, it's the same thing. You always have somebody come up to you and say how dumb they were or how stupid they were, that, I got scammed, boy, I'm really stupid. What we do is we tell them, no, you are not stupid. You are not dumb. You have been a victim of a professional. And these people, these scammers are professional scammers. A lot of them are connected with organized crime. A lot of them are well educated. They're experienced in doing this. They're trained in doing this, and they know how to act on your emotions. And that's the big thing that we have to let people know is when we said, if you remember in the beginning, we said step back if you're being emotionally drawn in. They work on your emotions. They do not work on your intelligence. There's no scam that I know of that is based on your intelligence. It's all on your emotions. So what they'll do is they'll work on your emotions, and this is where you got to step back and realize that they're playing on your emotions. So you are not stupid. They played on your emotions, and this is why you fell victim. You are a victim of a crime. And again, we have to remember that these scammers, they absolutely do not care about you. They do not care how they hurt you, if they hurt you or anything else. The only thing they care about is do they get your money, and do they get your personal identifiable information like your Social Security number or your Medicare number.
So that they can keep getting money. They want to get paid more than once. This
is one of the things. This is one of the things. If you look at the new coronavirus slides, this is one of the things where the virus, something about a gift that keeps giving type thing. And that's one of the things with identity theft. Several years ago, they made it into a federal crime, is to steal a person's identity. The problem with identity theft is you can have your identity stolen and not know about it. And it may not be used for years. And like I said, you may not ever know about it.
Exactly, exactly. And AARP is working very hard to change the conversation around fraud, because people do feel ashamed and they feel like it was their fault that they got scammed, and it's not. It's the criminal's fault that they got scammed. And the criminals think about this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they only need to be right once. Whereas we need to be right all the time. The odds are against us, any of us, not being scammed, no matter how
That's correct.
how much of an expert you are.
Well, one of the things with what red flags or what warning flags you give them, I'll go through a whole presentation, give them red flags and warning things like that. And the end of the presentation, I'll always end it like this. In fact, some of the presentations I even start. You will have two weapons to fight against fraud: your due diligence and your vigilance. They're the only two weapons you have. You have to be totally aware that these scammers are out there. They're ready to get you. They're looking for you. So, should you be paranoid? Yes, because somebody is out to get you, and that's these scammers. So due diligence and vigilance, they're really the only two weapons we have. We always have to be aware that, these things can happen to us, and how do we protect ourselves?
Exactly. So we're about to wrap up here, Martin. So let me close with this question. So you've been a volunteer for 4 years. How do you feel when you're done with these calls? Why do you volunteer, and how do you feel?
Well, usually I feel really good about them. I've helped somebody out. They thank you a lot. We make sure that you understand what I said, how you're going to do it, and things like that. So it makes me feel good that, I've helped a person out, and that hopefully I've given them enough information that they will go on to pass their story on to other people, that what's out there. That yes, I was a victim of a scam. This is what happened. This is how it happened. Be wary that there are things out there. There are people out there that want to scam you. So I do feel, real good about that. Sometimes I just hope that I've given them enough information to help them out.
Mm-hmm. Well, you certainly have, because you're there. You're like the first line of defense. So thank you so much for your service to AARP Virginia and to AARP in general, Martin. And thank you for your help in preventing fraud and keeping us safe from that. The website for Protect Week is www.protectweek.org, and you can find a whole list of activities and engagement information about how to protect yourself or your loved ones from elder financial abuse. Thank you so much, Martin. We really appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me, Karen.
You're welcome.